Literally just now, Glitch dropped another teaser for episode 7, and this one honestly surprised me. At first, it might look like the teaser is just showing that same exit door from the pilot, and that's it. But if we dive a little deeper, we can actually find a couple more meanings behind it. First off, yeah, there's a huge chance that in episode 7, the whole exit theme really does pop up again, and it's going to be tied to those same Kane glitches that already start to look kind of scary. But if we remember the pilot, we can see that behind that door, there's actually a path to the real world. What surprises me in all this is how early this plot point shows up. I feel like even if the whole escape from the digital circus thing does appear in episode 7, it'll just be a couple lines at the end, and the main part of that storyline is going to unfold in episode 8. Besides the real exit from the digital circus, this teaser can work like a kinda allegory, because it might mean not an actual exit from the circus, but the end of some specific storyline for one of the characters. I'm not saying they'll get abstracted or anything, just that, for example, their behavior might change completely. I get that it sounds a bit complicated, but we're going to talk about it in more detail right now. But it's important to get that these two versions might not contradict each other, and it's pretty likely that Glitch are hinting at two events at once like this. Now let's dig into the second option in a way more detailed way. Tomorrow we're finally getting the long-awaited trailer for episode 7, where the creators are going to reveal even more interesting details about the new episode, and from that moment on, we'll finally be able to understand what the next episode is actually about. But even now I've already noticed way too many similarities between one of Gooseworx's posts, that old, so to speak, teaser Goose posted for literally 1 minute, the snippet from A Day at the Beach, and of course the first official teaser for episode 7. If we look at this recent post from Gooseworx, we notice the wordplay that turns Jeff the Kinger into Jeff the Kinger. From that, we can understand a couple things. Either Gooseworx just revealed Kinger's real name, or she's connecting this character to the old internet creepypasta Jeff the Kinger. And if the second idea is correct, then we can be almost 100% sure about one event. And that's exactly what I'm going to tell you about now. Before that, let's take a look at the other three, so to speak, leaks. During A Day at the Beach, we see how all the characters really have a fun time, all except Jax. He, as the real loner, is lying on a lounger far away from everyone. The same thing we see in the recent teaser, where again everyone is having fun, and again everyone except the purple rabbit. The only difference is that in this image we don't see him at all, and the only thing that hints at his presence is his face on the watermelon, which will later be destroyed by Gangle. At the moment we have a strange reference to Jeff the Killer, the official teaser and the sneak peek where Jax is either missing or kept away from the others, and to fully dive into the further story, we gotta remember the Gooseworx leak where we see Jax, his room, his mental state that's borderline deep depression, and something strange. It could be Kinger's clothes or the dice that apparently exist in every character's room. But for some reason, I feel like Kinger is what's shown there, and if that's the case, things get really interesting. In this kind of theory, we only got two characters, Jax, who's basically broken on the inside, and Kinger, who we know as the perfect psychologist. If we briefly recall the core of Jeff the Killer, then in the end he kills his enemies. That's the super short version. And drawing a parallel with Kinger, we see that he could kill the main enemy of the digital circus. Right now, the widely accepted opinion is that Jax is the main enemy, but we know you can't physically kill anyone in the digital circus, so this ain't about a physical thing, but a mental one. If this whole theory is true, then Kinger will kill the evil ego inside Jax, which is the real enemy number one for everyone in the digital circus, and even for Jax himself. I get that it sounds kind of far-fetched, but you gotta admit it's a pretty interesting and logical theory, and to really understand what Kinger might have to deal with in episode 7, let's dig into the root of the problem and figure out what's actually going on with Jax, cause nothing here is as simple as it seems at first glance. In the previous episode, it might have seemed like this rabbit was actually starting to chill out and be more genuine. I was sure that after losing his best friend Jax was just looking for comfort in all his teasing and jokes, and meeting Pomni could have been his lifeline. But episode 6 showed us why those theories were doomed from the start, and I'm definitely going to tell you what it all really means. But before that, we gotta prep a bit cause it's way more complicated than it looks. Y'all remember Jax's so-called special attitude toward Gangle. Good thing Zooble stepped in just in time and pretty much saved Gangle. Honestly, there's been this pattern for a while now that's slowly leading us toward a Jax versus Zooble showdown, and I'm sure that's going to play a big role later. But today we're talking about something completely different. And now we've finally gotten to one of the most important scenes of episode 6.
You know none of this is real, right?
Oh, what do you mean? Like the circus?
The game today is literally to shoot each other, so what's the point in taking this moral high ground?
At that point, it could still seem like everything between Jax and Pomni was totally fine, and the more experienced digital circus resident was just giving her some tips on how to handle herself in this so-called trap. On top of that, we get that Jax is actually fully aware of everything going on around him, and, by his own words, that's exactly why he acts the way we've seen through all the episodes. But it's way more complicated than that. His behavior ain't just because he understands reality. It's also driven by this creepy fear of what's most likely going to happen to him, and episode 6 shows that better than anything else. But let's break it all down, step by step. Regatha's words and that weird, almost animalistic anger really make you question how truthful they are and what they actually mean for Jax. At first, it seemed super strange that instead of Jax's usual jokes, he literally lost control. Given what we're about to see next, I'm pretty sure that line isn't even about our jester, but about Jax's so-called best friend, who's becoming more and more important with each episode for the story that's still unfolding. Honestly, I'm kinda bummed that episode 6 still didn't dive deeper into this, but that dialogue and the reference give us a better understanding of Jax's personality, which will be revealed a bit later. But the question is, how sincere are his words really? After this scene, I started paying way closer attention to the relationships in this team, and if you think about it, things were relatively chill, and Jax really was like a genuine buddy sharing stuff about himself with Pomni. And that scene by Zubal's door? Straight up a masterpiece, gotta be counted among the legendary 3D animation scenes of all time. By the way, how do y'all feel about this look for Zubal? And right after that, they kinda dive a bit deeper into the real reason behind Jax's behavior.
Ow.
I can get him.
Wait!
Trust me, partner, I got this.
We can clearly see that the moment Jax looks at anyone who's already turned into an abstracted monster, his state instantly gets way worse. And before we circle back to that, we gotta remember the most dramatic scene not just in episode 6, but in the whole digital circus.
Oh, we make such a good team.
Well, to be fair, our competition wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah, true. I suppose this is the part where one of us betrays the other.
Huh? Oh, yeah, you can betray me.
Oh, I thought this was gonna be a mutual thing.
Nah, go on, do it.
I don't really want to.
Lame! Come on, I thought you were cool.
We could just be winners as a team.
We're not a team, come on.
What do you mean? Yes, we are.
Delusional.
Weren't we kind of bonding over being chaotic evil together?
I was merely entertaining you because I thought it was funny. Now are you gonna shoot me or what?
Did I do something wrong?
Ugh, you sound like Ragatha right now. No wonder we're not a team.
No, I mean, we were doing fine, having fun, talking. But you suddenly
You're not committing. Do it.
Despite all his aggression, all those words aimed at Pomni, Jax ended up trying to justify with a joke the moment he saw Pomni was actually hurt. Honestly, as much as we don't want to admit it, it's the truth, and we got totally convinced after their fight and what Jax said to Pomni at the end. That was the first time we saw Jax so furious and nasty that you just want to smack him right through the screen. But to really wrap up what's actually going on with Jax, we still gotta go back to that scene with the favorite character awards.
Without honorable mentions and subcategories. That's right, it's bad! Unlike my show, which is good.
God, you look stupid.
And now we finally get that Jax is straight up scared. That whole reaction to the rooms of those already gone from the digital circus comes from pure fear for his own life. All that aggression, all that refusal to accept any friendship, it's 'cause behind the mask of the cool fun guy is a terrified kid. Honestly, Ribbit's abstracting had a massive impact on Jax's behavior. I'm not gonna say why it happened or if it's Jax's fault, but the fact that he's already gone through losing so many close peeps freaks him out big time. The final scene proves that everything we saw before was only partly the truth. He really doesn't want to get close to anyone and he's doing everything to push everyone away, but not because he's some kind of bad guy or anything. It's because he's scared of history repeating itself. If that pain hits him again, chances are Jax won't handle it and will just end up like those others. This episode seriously changes a lot and makes us think about the bigger stuff going down in the digital circus.